Hey guys, hope you're all well. So Microsoft have been busy firing out some updates for some of their products. Two of the most exciting of those are the Surface Book 3 finally coming into real life and the Surface Go 2 getting an update as well. So let's cover those off and see what they're all about. Before we start, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and let's get going, shall we? So the Surface Book is one of my favourite in terms of detachable tablets come laptop. It's got this awesome fulcrum hinge here and it just has great viewing angles. It basically looks like a laptop, and then you press a button and you get to pop the screen off, which is absolutely awesome. It's been a long time coming now. It didn't get any love last year when all the other Surface products seemed to be getting an upgrade, which was a bit of a shame. But Microsoft did announce some really funky things back then, so we'll forgive them for that. So the Surface Book 3 is maintaining pretty much all the design elements that we got in the Surface Book 2. It's going to have those same huge bezels, it's massively chunky, and it looks a bit dated by 2020 standards. All of the design elements and the upgrades that you're going to see are on the internals of the device. Now, one of the benefits of them maintaining that design is they're keeping the same keyboard that was on the previous models. Now, personally, I absolutely adored that keyboard and the trackpad. It was exceptionally nice to use. It had a good amount of travel, great response on the clicks, and it's just a beauty of a keyboard to use. The Surfaces have amazing keyboards, so I'm glad to see that they're keeping that this time. And I'm willing to sacrifice the slim bezels if it means I get a good keyboard. I'm looking at you, Butterfly keyboards. Ugh. So as I mentioned, all of the upgrades are coming on the internals of the device. So this year you'll be able to choose from a quad-core i5 or i7 processor on the 13.5 inch, and that will come with Iris Plus integrated graphics. And the 15-inch model offers a 10th gen i7 processor with NVIDIA's GTX 1660 Ti Max-Q, with the option for users to upgrade to NVIDIA's Quadro RTX 3000. So it'll be a powerhouse if you choose to upgrade it that way, and you'll be able to benefit massively from those upgraded GPUs. This year, you'll also have the option to upgrade to 32 gig of RAM, which is a massive benefit over previous generations, and Microsoft claim that the SSDs will be significantly faster as well, which is going to be a boost to performance. 13.5 inch models start at $1,600 and the 15 inch model starts at $2,300. Both of those models are available to pre-order today and they'll start shipping from May 21st. So check out the Microsoft Store, you can play around with the configurator and see if there's anything that takes your fancy. As I mentioned, the design's a little bit dated, especially by 2020 standards, but my biggest disappointment with the Surface Book 3 is the fact that we still don't have Thunderbolt. It seems that Microsoft are well and truly against including this port on their devices, and it's just not going to be coming across, which is a bit of a shame. That sort of connectivity will allow for users to use something like an external GPU, and not having that availability on my previous Surface Books is one of the reasons I don't use those anymore. I benefit from it massively. I use it on my MacBook at the moment when I boot camp into Windows, and it just allows for you to have that external upgrade path, and it's just really handy. It looks like we're never going to get that, or we might do one day when Microsoft finally throws in the towel and gives in, but for the time being, that's just not happening on their devices, which, as I say, is a shame. I can forgive the old-fashioned sort of design, especially since you're getting this awesome two-in-one device, and Microsoft really nailed it with the Surface Book. But the lack of Thunderbolt, that's a killer for me. Might not be for you, but it's certainly worth considering when you look at upgrading to these models. So moving on to the Surface Go, and my, haven't we come a long way from the old Surface RT devices. I mean, these things were just absolutely awful. What can I say? Anybody who used these will know straight away what a train wreck Surface RT was. But it was a really interesting experiment for Microsoft, and we are where we are now with the Surface Go 2. At first glance, the Surface Go 2 hasn't really changed a massive amount. It looks the same from the outside, apart from we've now got a screen increase, so it keeps the same footprint and the same size, but the screen is now 10.5 inches, which is a little bit of an increase. The great thing about that is by maintaining that same external size, is it'll work with your previous type covers, which is great, because if you've already got a Surface Go and you wanted to go down the Go 2 upgrade path, you won't need to buy all the additional accessories, which obviously saves you a little bit of cash. $99 if you go for the standard, or $129 if you go for the Alcantara. Along with the increased size, you'll also find an Intel 8th Gen Core M processor, which will offer up to 64% faster speeds, which is pretty nifty when you compare it to the previous Surface Go. Users will also benefit from advanced LTE, and you'll also get dual studio microphones on there as well. So for things like video conferencing, if you're doing any form of recording, if you're doing any video editing, anything like that, it allows you to get much better audio recording performance without having to use an external microphone, which could be a big win for you. The Surface Go starts at $399, giving you 4GB of RAM, 64GB of storage, and a Pentium Gold processor that's only 100 MHz faster than the previous generation of models. So to really benefit, you'll need to shell out $630, which will upgrade you to the 8th gen Intel Core M processor, get you 8GB of RAM and 128GB SSD as well, which will offer much faster performance versus the 64GB model. Once you start getting into that pricing, it does start moving you away from the budget, especially since you have to buy that type keyboard separately as well. Unfortunately, it's not bundled with the model. However, if you're the kind of person who's going to benefit from that form factor, you've got the nice compact tablet size, being able to snap the keyboard off, tap it on, and then boot across into full Windows to get some real work done, this could be the model for you. Obviously, it does start stretching the budget a little bit more once you start upgrading those internal specifications, but it can be worth it if you need that form factor. If you're somebody who's on the go a lot, you need the extra cameras on there. You know, there's a lot of people that are looking at iPad Pros at the moment, and they start with a hefty price tag. So if you can have a full desktop operating system on here, it might be worth it for you. So like I mentioned, both of these offer their own unique benefits. The Surface Book allows you to have a full laptop, which also gives you the detachable screen as well. That's massively helpful. A lot of manufacturers, we're looking at you Apple, are starting to move across into this space, but when you look at things like the iPad Pro, you do still only get a mobile operating system. Although iPadOS has come a long way, it still has its limitations, which is really frustrating at times. With something like the Surface Book, you're going to get full Windows on there, and you're going to have the power to do those tasks that you need to. And then when you want to, you can switch across into the tablet mode, use those cameras, and get the benefits that you'd get on something like the iPad. Now, don't get me wrong, the tablet experience on something like the Surface Book or the Surface Go isn't as smooth as something like an iPad, and that's definitely worthwhile considering when you're looking at your use case, but it does have its other benefits. It's really good at being an all-in-one device, so you get that great keyboard experience, the laptop experience, and the tablet experience all rolled into one. So let us know in the comments if you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and let us know whether or not you're going to be adventuring out and getting one of these devices. Will you be upgrading from a previous one? Will you be jumping in? Have you been holding fire? Have Microsoft done enough to win you over? Let us know below, and we'll be back soon. Ta-ra for now.